Yeah, so we can get started. But first, before we actually play the game, I do want to take a little time to talk about that, the movie. I thought it'd be fun to talk about it a little bit. Also, like, it's still kind of new, so I figured it would be nice to, like, put it in its own section where, like, I can spoil shit and talk more earnestly about it. What I should have made notes to talk about this, but I didn't, so it's gonna be entirely off the cuff. Also, yeah, one more final reminder, spoilers for the movie. I mean, the general, like, review is just that it was really good. Just, I think it was my favorite of the three movies so far. They did a really good job adapting. I would still say one of the few, or, like, I don't know. I mean, I know they're trying to do more emotional stuff in Sonic now, but I do think Shadow's story is still one of the, like, major emotional, I guess, things in Sonic's lore, and I do think they did a really good job adapting it to like a movie. I haven't actually played Sonic Adventure 2, that's like the point of tonight, but I've seen a lot of it, but I think they did a really good job, especially in the movie, hammering home like the relationship of Shadow and Maria, like how much she really did mean to him, that he was going through a lot of shit, like as like a test subject essentially, from all the others, from all the scientists and stuff, and how Maria was like his only friend and like actually like good to him and stuff. They did a really good job hitting that, like why he was so troubled in the modern era. The emotional backbone of a lot of that story was like really nice. I will say, um, they didn't shoot Maria. They didn't do it. It was. I was very curious when we were getting to that point of like Shadow's flashbacks in history. It was kind of like, uh-oh, is it time for that moment? And then she died from like an explosion instead. They didn't do it, which honestly fair. I just thought it was funny after like a lot of people were you know, very interested in how they were gonna handle that. No, it was still like, it still was like very emotional, and it like did do a good job of supporting Shadow's reasons for what he's trying to do. I guess more on Shadow. I don't know a lot about Keanu Reeves, I gotta be honest. Like, I have never really watched anything that he's in. I don't know his like full range, but I do think he did a good job giving Shadow a lot of depth, I will say. I do think he did a good job like giving Shadow like a more brooding exterior, but like being able to like fit emotion between the lines, I guess, if that makes any sense. I don't know if he's like good at that in like other things he's in. I only really know him as like from the outside as stuff like John Wick, so like just this badass guy and stuff. Also that one SpongeBob movie where he's a tumbleweed for some reason, but I don't count that really. I don't know, but he did a good job. It was also, I mean, I guess like since they did kind of flesh out like Shadow's like pain and stuff too, I do think it was interesting trying to like give Sonic a little more of that as well. As since like a lot of the later conflict was like he almost killed Tom, we need to go kill Shadow right now, which also that was a gutsy move. Like I remember reading a few people like kind of thinking they would kill off Tom in this one. I don't know, I didn't think they would, and I am glad he's alive, but it was still pretty gutsy for them to like almost mortally wound him. It did make Sonic like a even better foil for Shadow, and then like they did a good job with like the different facets of like how you grieve for people and like moving their legacy forward versus using your grief in a destructive way, I guess. Game Sonic doesn't often goes for a lot of like the more revenge style. He's usually just like more just straight hero, I guess. So it is interesting that they did go for that in this, which I guess they kind of have to a little bit because it's like you have to have like the movie conflict, I guess, but it works. I think it was good. On it, obviously, like the big one was like live and learn. Oh my god, that made me so happy. Like the fact that they got it in at all. People were like, this has to be like the one that they would use a big song like live and learn in. And they did, and it was like so good. And the fact that it was like not only live and learn, but like a really cool like combination of like the original track and then like an orchestral version of it was like super dope. I kind of did have chills because it was just such a cool, it was such a pretty version of it. I loved that. It was very funny as like just having two Jim Carreys on the screen for like an extended period of time, and at one point they even like doing the fourth wall break of referencing that was great. Gerald Robotnik was great. I mean, it was just, yeah, Jim Carrey again, so like fair enough. Carrey was great at both roles, I suppose I can say. I do like, and obviously you can play as Eggman in Sonic Adventure 2, but I do like that the movies give Eggman more of like an active role a lot, where like in like some of the final conflicts, he was actively like in combat against his grandpa. Him and Shadow like teamed up to play a more active role in like getting the Ark away from the Earth so that it wouldn't like explode on everybody, you know? I thought that was neat. Like, I appreciate them giving him more of a, letting him do more stuff like that. Also, I mean, his little like friendship with Stone, I thought that was cute. Obviously, I know everyone online is like, they're gay. I could see it. Regardless, I think how they're portrayed in the movies is very cute. And it was like that little speech Eggman gave at the end when he was like about to explode. The little speech he gave to Stone was like super sweet. And that did make me very happy, especially like after a lot of the movie was like him focusing on his grandpa over Stone, and the grandpa didn't really care for Eggman that much. I do wonder, because obviously they teased the fourth one, and I think they had already announced the fourth one like anyway before the third one even came out. I do wonder because I mean, yeah, Eggman like actually died in this one, but apparently Jim Carrey is back as Eggman in the fourth one, which, you know what, this, I guess this can kind of go into the like talking about like the like little end credits scene, which I think that's cool. I think that's pretty neat that they are going into like Sonic CD territory now. The big reveals were like, yeah, Metal Sonic, and then like Amy is like the new like friend reveal, I guess. So that's really cool. I do appreciate that right off the bat they make Amy kind of feel like her own character. Gotta kill Eggman every time in case Jim doesn't come back. That's actually a fair point, because Eggman is a kind of character in the Sonic games who kind of just appears to die every time anyway, and then comes back. So that's a good point. I do also, I was actually thinking about it because Sonic CD is very much like time travel. So there could actually be elements of that involved where like maybe there are bad futures involved where Eggman is like more prominent. So like maybe Jim Carrey playing future Eggman, or like Jim Carrey playing past Eggman, because maybe they go to the past where Eggman is still alive, that kind of thing. I almost wonder if they want to keep it where Eggman is canonically dead, but like maybe Metal Sonic was a thing that he was working on to combat Sonic before he died. So they might like do flashbacks to like building Metal Sonic or something. They could also, yeah, just like actually just bring him back, and it's like, what the fuck? How is he alive again? I don't know, but he's here. So I could see, I do think basing it around CD gives them a lot of cool potential for like time travel that could be like how they get Jim Carrey back as Eggman and stuff, or like why Eggman would still be prominent. Oh, the thing I was saying before. I'm glad with how they seem to be portraying Amy, because I remember when I was playing Adventure, that was one of the things I said. I liked how more recently Amy became more than just, oh, Sonic! Obviously, this was like 2 seconds, but she seems a lot more like self-reliant and stuff. And I do very much hope that is like true. Like, obviously, they can do romance if they want, but I also just want Amy to be her own character because I think she shines a lot better as that. The one glaring thing of Sonic 2 was just, like, the wedding scene being very weirdly long and drawn out, I think. And I think they did a good job not doing that this time. Like, it was just kind of, everything kind of moved at a decent pace. So that was nice. I appreciate that. There wasn't, like, a big, weird just scene in the middle that kind of stopped everything, which I guess that makes sense because they were like having to tell 2 stories with like Sonic and Shadow, so like they kind of couldn't stop really, I guess. I don't remember her name, but like the one like lady who was like trying to get the key card back to the Ark, I don't really understand her motivation. I will say I don't know why. I guess the idea was just that like Sonic was a rogue entity, so like why should he be trusted with the card versus like me and our organization and Gun, that's what it is. But like if the commander gave Sonic the card, then there must be a reason, but I guess she just didn't agree with it. I don't know. It felt very random, I will say. Though like having like the dual headquarters break-in was a neat, like was fun anyway. So like I can't, like, it set up some good stuff. It was just like a weird conflict to me, I guess. But I mean, it didn't really detract from anything, so like that's fine. I guess because like a lot of the movie was kind of big on like the teamwork of like the three of them. So that was actually, or like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and then occasionally like Tom and them got in there. I thought so that was like a good just excuse to show that off, and like the kind of Sonic Heroes dynamic as well. So that was good. Oh, I did like that there was like a little bit of a reference to the Knuckles show, with like Knuckles being like, I have a skilled guardian guarding the Master Emerald, and it's fucking Wade, since he's like Knuckles is like apprentice still. I think that was really well done as like a reference to the Knuckles show, but also like if you haven't seen it, it's just like a kind of like its own joke, I guess. And I'm glad we got like at least one Wade mention at some point. That made me happy. I've said it before, but I really liked the Knuckles show. It was very silly, so I'm glad they kind of like added a little bit of a nod to that for people. Also, just I mean, in general, I don't know. I think Knuckles has been like my favorite. Knuckles is kind of like my favorite character anyway in Sonic, I think. But like they've done a really good job with him in the movies and the show, and like in this canon, I think he's really fun. Like he definitely is like kind of dumb, but he definitely like has a bit more of a spirit behind him that I think is very nice. Like he's funny in Sonic Boom, where he is just like a total idiot, but I do like that when they do give him like a little bit of like serious edge to him, alongside being just kind of dumb, but like good-hearted and everything. Like he still like just wants to punch shit, but he also knows like when Sonic was getting like angry and like wanting to just take the emeralds and become Super Sonic, he was like knowing like, okay, this is actually like a problem. Hold on, stop, Sonic. I want to say that's it. Like I said at the beginning, I do think it was like the best of the three. Like they did a fantastic job with it. The adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2's stuff and like Shadow's story is like really good. It fleshes it out very well. And they've done a good job with that movie canon. Whether it's directly taken from the Sonic games, or something new that they wanted to try to do, either for like sake of being a movie and not a game, or just like because they wanted to experiment. I mean, I think they've done a good job with how they've evolved this canon. It's really fun, and I'm excited to see what they do for the fourth movie. Also, I isn't there another show? Oh, never mind. Said other television series were possible should Knuckles be a success. Okay, never mind. So there's not one confirmed. Okay. If they do more of that, I would be excited to see more, and I'm excited to see where this fourth movie goes. Also, someone mentioned it on Blue Sky, and it would actually be really funny if they made a game based on this canon at this point. They already kind of did, because I know Sonic Shadow Generations has like a DLC, I think, based on the movie. Where you play as like Shadow, actually voiced by Keanu Reeves and like looking like the movie and stuff. So there is like some of that, which is really funny. But I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they do decide to make like a game adaptation of the movie. I don't know what it would look like at all, but like I could see it. It would be funny.